This is the Hollywood Outsider. I am Aaron Peterson, your host, and with me today are Justin McCumber.
Howdy do.
Brian Williams.
Hello.
And that's it. Those of you that listen will...
Scott?
No, he's dead. We buried him in the backyard.
Did you eat him?
Our often host, or not host, but guest, Scott Clark, will not be with us this week, and we don't know when because he's pursuing whatever they call it, education.
Learning.
He's trying to get his learn on. That's probably thanks to Obama. So, good job. Basically, if you've never tuned in before, the format for us is we're going to talk a little bit about some news, not much this week. We're going to review the newest release, Contagion, which just came out. Talk a little bit about what's coming out this weekend, and then specifically what's coming out next weekend, because we don't know when you listen to this, honestly. Then the big thing that we're going to do, after we do a little trivia thing called Stump the Hoe, is a fall TV edition. We do movies every week, so if you listen to this every week, you know that we do movies mostly. But with all the TV shows that are coming out, we kind of want to give you an idea of some of the better ones to look out for, better ones by our opinion. And then we're going to jump right into DVDs and wrap it up. That's the basic boring shit that nobody really cares about, but at least then you know what you're listening to. How have you guys been?
I've been doing pretty well.
Been good.
I watched Grave Encounters on something, iTunes or preview, where you can, I think it was $6 or $7, and you can watch movies on demand that I guess are waiting for release. And it's kind of a Paranormal Activity meets those stupid fucking ghost hunter shows that you see on Sci-Fi and whatnot. And I was prepared to really love it because I thought Blair Witch was fantastic. Paranormal Activity 1 and 2, loved them both. It was okay, and it got better and better because the whole story of this movie is that you're following this ghost hunter crew as they go into this old abandoned asylum, which God fucking knows if you've watched any movies ever, you don't go into asylums. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, just don't. It never ends well. But these guys decide they're going to go in and they're going to get some great footage. And so they go in, they purposefully have the door locked behind them, and they're going to spend one night in this asylum. And for probably about half the movie, it's mostly just watching them set up cameras, do interviews, kind of walk around this place. Tension slowly but surely builds up, and it's really good. And it starts to get better once things start going wrong. Unfortunately, what they do in this movie, which every other one of its type that I've seen not do, is that it starts introducing a little bit of CGI. And as soon as it does that, for me, it broke me completely out of the movie because everything up to that point had been believable. That it looked like it had never been touched by special effects. Once they kind of break that, it ruined some of my suspension of disbelief. And then they do it a little more frequently. So that by the end of it, I was like, all right, man. When it was over with, I didn't care for it.
Where did you see this at?
It was on iTunes.
Oh, okay.
And it was, it was okay. It's certainly nowhere near as good as Paranormal Activity 1 or 2 or Blair Witch. It's worth a see, and maybe the CG will work for you. It didn't really work for me.
That's probably why it's available on iTunes.
Maybe.
Hey, they got some good stuff on iTunes.
Yeah,
they
do.
It's not bad. And
they
do quite often put movies available early, and you can check them out. And I took a chance, thought I'd like it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it maybe a 5.
Oh, that sounds pretty average.
Yeah, if you're reaching for a 5, that's.
He said maybe a 5.
Maybe a 5.
Maybe a 5. What about you, Brian?
If you're gonna take the 5, you better give me a little cleavage as you're reaching in to take it.
What have you been up to, Brian?
Really, the most exciting thing I've done here recently is I went skydiving the other day.
Wow.
You crazy bastard.
You did. You lived, apparently.
It's and that was absolutely phenomenal. It was just a total blast. There was really only a small sliver of time where I was a little bit scared, but for the most part, the place where we went, Skydive Tallahassee, down in Florida, and they
I like how you're plugging them.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you,
Checks in the mail, bitch.
They really did a phenomenal job of making you feel safe and everything. You know, they're constantly checking stuff. They're constantly reminding you of the one or two little things that you have to do. You know, they really do. You know, they kind of do everything themselves, and just let you enjoy the rush. And it was phenomenal. Falling, let's say we jumped out at 12,000 feet, fell, let's see, 125 miles an hour for about 120 miles an hour for about 25 seconds. And then the chute came open, and then we floated down, and wow, it was just what a rush. What a rush.
That sounds like
your
fun.
drawers.
It's not something I would do. That's actually what we
Well,
took my best
honestly, it
friend.
looked like I did crap my pants, because when you land, they in tandem, you land sliding into the well, in this
The dude in
case,
front of you,
it's
or
a
behind
grass
you.
runway, so I had grass stains on my ass, so it did look like I kind of shit my drawers. So
Wow.
I would love to do it. I really would love to do it.
I would not at all.
I'm just afraid I'd be one of those guys clutching the door, leading out so hard. I'm, bunching up
my
the aluminum.
my best friend. That's what we took him for his bachelor's party, is skydiving.
oh really?
That was what I did for his bachelor party. And he was, well, you got to go with me. No, I don't. No, I don't. I will stay down here, and if you don't land, I'll go tell your fiance.
Really, the worst part was when you're getting ready to jump. The door opens, and you're sitting on the edge of the plane, and you've got your feet on this little peg, and he's like, just wait right here. I got to get in position. So the guy's already attached to you and everything. So it's, you're sitting there waiting for him to kind of get in position. So I guess he doesn't, trip or something falling out the plane. So it was he's, you're just sitting there staring at ground that's 12,000 feet below you.
Wow.
And, and so you're just kind of sitting there waiting to fall out of this plane. And it was phenomenal. It was totally worth it. I highly recommend doing it. It's one of those bucket list type of things. So
You know what? I'll just take that with me to the grave. That's good. Let's
Now, is
move.
this tandem guy attached to your back?
yeah, he's attached. He's got 4
Deliverance.
clips that he's clipped in behind you.
So
He
it's
does
kind
all
of like
the
man
work.
packing.
Down. Yes, it's
Well,
exactly like man
Yes,
packing.
but we have clothes on.
That's
So,
that's how I
Hey, you
actually
see what I did
backpacked.
there?
That's how I backpacked last week. Thanks for the segue. I went backpacking last week, and apparently I had a dude attached to my ass the whole time.
Just man packing it through the woods.
Man packing, backpacking, packpacking, however you want to rephrase it. And it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of man bonding and looked at the stars. It doesn't sound gay. There's no way you can explain this trip and not sound like I'm going through a change.
anytime you've described this trip, it's never sounded hetero at all. So
You know what? We saw a girl. Boom. There you go. We
What was she,
saw
park-
one girl.
Park ranger.
No, we saw one girl, and then one of the guys on the trip actually said, "No, she's too gangly," which we couldn't stop laughing. Like, look, when you're in the woods, middle of nowhere, with a group of guys, and you see one girl, and you go, "She's not good enough," you got a problem. You really got a problem. Well, let's get into movies. That's kind of what we're here for. Starting off, we're going to talk about some of the new trailers, and news is going to be really short this week because the TV section is a little extended. But the new trailers that came out, the new Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1, because, of course, you had to split that into 2 parts. That came out, and I think it looks all right. I mean, if you're a fan of Twilight, I'm not particularly a fan, but what about you guys?
I'm not a fan, but I'm going to go see it just because my wife is a huge fan. And
Is this one of those things where, no, I don't really like it, but I go there opening night every time?
it's opening
Wearing a
weekend
hoodie.
at least.
Wear
So,
a hoodie,
right. Wear the little glitter makeup so you look like one of the Cullens.
blackface.
No, that's a whole different party down here.
Yeah. down-
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So,
Good call.
yeah, I mean, it actually looks like the story's getting better. There's more. Looks like there's a little, some action for a change. So this is, it's if I have to take the hit and go with the wife, this is one that I don't mind taking the hit on.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks all right. Each movie, and I don't see them in theaters. I just rent them. But each one has been a bit more entertaining than the one before it. Hopefully, this will continue that trend. I'm sure that I will see it as soon as it hits, download or video.
I don't really have a choice, but I'd like to not see it. But the trailer, if you're a fan, looks good. Another one is Fireflies in the Garden, which apparently I was told right before the show started was actually made in 2008. I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds was still doing like Two Girls, a Guy in a Pizza Place when this thing came out. But they never released it, so it's finally coming on video, or on theaters, sorry. I thought the trailer looked good till I found out it was 4 years old, and I'm actually ashamed of myself for not knowing that.
Yeah, way to be on top of things.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. I was so worried about the TV stuff, I didn't really care about everything else.
Hey, there's this new movie called Pulp Fiction. You guys got to check this out.
I hear John Travolta's in it. He's making a comeback.
John who? Really?
What'd you guys think of this really old movie?
It looks depressing, but it looks like it'll win a minimum of 4 Oscars.
Okay. No, it won't, because it was made in 2008. If it hasn't come out yet, it's not winning shit.
This is true.
Justin?
Actually, I didn't see the trailer. I apologize profusely.
You don't have to apologize. If I would have gotten a note from you and then I looked and it was made 4 years ago, I wouldn't have watched it either. So.
I thought you just made a mistake.
But I am committed to this fucking podcast thing, so I did.
Oh, right. Okay, so now my commitment is in question. Is that the implication?
Hey,
I'm not saying
you guys are both here, and I don't hear Scott Clark. So as far as I'm concerned, you're both committed.
That's right.
Boom.
Good point.
Good point. We'll go to the next one that was actually made sometime recently, and that's or actually the last one, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That is a remake, and actually pretty. I think it looks really good, but I'm a big Gary Oldman fan. You don't like it? No. I'll take that noise as no. I don't like it.
It's based on a John le Carré book from 1975, 76.
Yes.
It looks like a movie made in Britain in 76. So between the hair and the clothes, and it looks so fucking boring.
Were you looking
the
for
whole
Austin
time
Powers?
I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, I like Gary Oldman. I like Tom Hardy. I like some of the other people who are in this movie, like Mark Strong. How the fuck can this movie be boring me to tears? And yet that trailer could not have. I should watch that before I go to bed. It did nothing for me.
Now I like a good spy thriller.
I do too.
But to me, and I like you. I like the cast and everything, and it's it looks a little dry, but I'll definitely check this out. But right now I'm calling my shot. Whoever the bad guy is in this movie, it's Mark Strong. I'm calling my shot now.
I believe that.
He never plays bad guys, so you're pretty safe there.
He never plays a good guy, and I like him a lot. But like I say, he never plays a good guy. So to me, that's my shot. I'm calling it now. He's going to be the bad guy, and I don't know. I've never read the book, never seen the movie, nothing. So,
wow. All right, so you don't want to see it if Mark Strong is the bad guy.
Yeah, well, I'll check it out. But
You're so. I'm glad you're committed to that.
I didn't say I didn't want to see it because he's the bad guy. I'm just saying that he's always the bad guy.
Yeah, that's true. Fair
Always.
enough. But he's a good bad guy, so whatever.
Oh yeah, he does it well. But it's like Christopher Lee. He's always, he's the villain.
That's true. Good call. Well, I mean, he's never going to be the hero either because he just doesn't have the hero. He could be a character actor, I think. I think he could pull that off.
Yeah.
Next piece of news, skipping trailers. There wasn't really a whole lot of new trailers that were any good other than the Twilight.
It's sad when Twilight is probably the winner of the trailers.
Yeah. If you got to pick one out of those three, it's probably going to be Twilight. Yeah.
Now I know I didn't bring this up earlier, so I know I'm kind of springing this on you. But have you seen that trailer for for Blackthorn?
Blackthorn? I heard about it, but I have not seen it. Why? Is it good? What's it about?
It's a Western. It's about
Backpacking?
Butch Cassidy.
Oh, this is the one where it's the like prequel?
No, it's like
Sequel?
he's old and gray beard and stuff. And
So they didn't see the end of the original movie? Is that kind of how this works?
apparently he lives somehow.
Really? So does Thelma.
But gosh, was it Sam Shepard? Who's the one that played Chuck Yeager in The Right Stuff?
Yeah, it's Sam Shepard.
Yes.
He plays Butch Cassidy, and it's basically he tries to find his way home, if I'm not mistaken, and comes across this young bank robber, and so they basically become targets for the bad guys and the good guys in this, the cops and the gangs and stuff in this movie. So, but it looks really good. You ought to check out the trailer if you can find it on there.
I'll check it out just for novelty's sake, because at the end of the original movie, I hope I don't spoil it for anyone. They die. I don't understand how
the movie stops.
They stop while they're in the air going over a cliff. You're right.
They stop running out.
That's probably true. I guess you could get out of it if you really wanted to, which you're trying very hard.
They're surrounded by banditos in Bolivia, and they come rushing out of a little shack, and the movie stops, and all you hear is gunfire and screaming.
Does it stop in such a way that you should hear banjos and the Waylon Jennings? How are these boys going to get out of this one?
I actually want to applaud. That was really funny. Going on to the next piece is that was fucking funny. Mel Gibson is going to take on another religious icon, and this time he's going to take on a Jewish one. He's going to direct and make a film about Judah Maccabee. Now, I don't claim to really know who Judah Maccabee is because I'm not Jewish. I'm about as Caucasian as they come, and I'll never be a banker. But I just did it all right there in one sentence. Wow. I wrapped it all in. That's right. I'm going to a Klan meeting later, boys. What?
And I'm supposed to be the racist.
No, you are the racist. But, I guarantee out of the three of us, who owns white sheets? Not me. Their
costumes.
Their costumes. The fact that Mel Gibson is being allowed to make a movie about a Jewish religious icon after all the racist shit he's done, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with I was drunk and it was off topic, and I blah blah blah, whatever his reasons are.
Well, did you see Temptation of the Christ?
Yeah, I saw it. What about it?
Apparently a lot of his implication were that the Jews killed the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Oh. Heavily responsible for it. I mean, the guy has made a name for himself as an anti Jewish person. I don't think he's really made too many bones about it, and for him to suddenly want to make a movie about this person, you have to wonder, is this an effort to make up for things, or what is this movie really going to be about? Is this going to further, show him to be some racist, where suddenly Judah Maccabee is, we're seeing the darker side of him? I don't know. I don't claim to be a person who's going to tell people what movies they should or shouldn't be making, but I don't think he should be making this one.
I think the Jewish community
this
agrees.
Like one of the biggest publicity ploys ever.
Please hire me again. I don't want to do a movie called The Beaver Part 2. Please hire me.
Do we remember Braveheart? You remember when Mel Gibson was a figure to be admired and appreciated.
Actor. And a really good director. I don't think he's a great director, but I think he's a really good one.
A good actor, a good director, and just...
And then he went off the deep end. And then the baby mama thing. Come on. We've all been... Well, anybody that's got kids, we've been there. I've got kids. I've been there. I got that crazy baby mama, too. I've said some crazy shit. It happens. Trust me. They make it crazy, too. They ain't all sweet and fucking Brady Bunch-like. Anyway, I think that's a very... I'm hoping he's doing it because he wants to rectify his image as well as bring communities together or something. Because his dad is a well-known racist.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, go look that up. He's a fun fella. That's a guy you want to party with. Downtown on the west side. I think he's trying to make amends and kind of showing, hey, I'm not really the guy you think I am. I think I've had some bad moments in the last few years, but I'm still that guy that cares about people, blah, blah, blah. I think that's kind of what it is. I can't imagine he would make this kind of movie without a positive agenda behind him. You guys agree with that? Or
I hope so. Or he's really looking to that better to burn out than fade away.
What do you think he's going to do? Make a movie and he's just like, the movie starts and he starts beating Jews left and right?
Maybe.
He's just
whipping go out in a big old blaze.
He's just whipping them. How you doing? Damn Jew.
Wishing you wouldn't have paid your $20 for this one.
I hope you're white. Oh, moving on. A couple real quick extra things, just a couple news points I thought were interesting. Robert Zemeckis is finally coming back to live action. He's been doing a bunch of computer animated combination films for a while. With Denzel Washington in a movie called Flight, and Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman. This sounds interesting. They're teaming up for I can never say it. Justin,
Les Miserables.
Thank you. Les Miserables. And I can see Hugh Jackman totally doing this. I do not see Russell Crowe. I don't know.
Well, he sings though. Didn't he used to have a band that he, was the lead singer of or something?
Yeah, it's like the Grunts or something.
Yeah, he might be able to pull it off. I don't know.
He might be. I don't know if they're going to make it like a grunge band or a grunge musical. Isn't this kind of a high-pollutant arte musical?
Well, but it's a movie. Originally, it's a musical play. Not quite sure where it falls into there, but it's about the miserable folk. So it's kind of grungy in a French sort of
sad
way. I'm really showing my weakness with musicals in theater. I apologize.
No, I really want to see Hugh Jackman in one. I really do. I think he can pull it off. I just don't know about Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Remember Gladiator?
Yeah, I don't remember him singing.
No, but remember when he was good, and I looked forward to his stuff. And again, he hasn't flamed out like Mel Gibson as obviously, but the work that he's been doing has been so uninspired since back when he did L.A. Confidential and Gladiator.
Yeah, I did like The Next 3 Days, but that seemed like such a cheap genre flick, like something Tom Selleck would have done.
Did nothing for me.
Oh God!
Did you see it, Brian?
No, not that one.
See, don't judge. It looks like a movie.
I didn't disagree with you. I was just laughing at the Tom Selleck reference. That's all.
It's true. Did you ever see a movie called An Innocent Man? It's kind of like that.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it's that good. Let's move on to some of the new releases that are coming out. First, we got to review Contagion. Brian and I saw it. I don't think Justin saw it because you said you don't want to.
No.
You don't want to see that movie to freak you out.
No. I like living in ignorance. Thank you.
It's basically about a world. It's a real easy plot. Worldwide epidemic, and it's about the victims that are being affected as well as the doctors trying desperately to cure it. It's got Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, Marion Cotillard. I just like saying her name. Lawrence Fishburne, and a bunch of other people that apparently had free time for the normal acting jobs. Steven Soderbergh directed it. He did Traffic, and it's very much a Traffic film. So,
yeah.
What do you think?
I like Soderbergh more in a Ocean's 11 mode.
You mean more fun, less
fun,
less death?
Yeah.
Well, he manages to take out quite a large part of the world population in this flick.
Now, if you tell me zombies rise at the end of this, then I will go see it. Otherwise, if the dead stay dead,
if you stay through the credits, that's what you see. That's what you see at the end.
Simon
of
Pegg
a little
pops
coda
up
at the end.
Right.
Brian, what's your take on it?
That'd be awesome.
I really like it. I like it. It jumps straight into it. There's no backstory. I mean, you feel in a few things, throughout the movie, but with most movies, you start out with the world as a happy-go-lucky place and everything's bright and shiny, and then it gets darker as the shit happens. And this didn't do that. It started out dreary, kind of dark, and not ruining anything, because if you've seen the preview, you already know she ends up dead. But Gwyneth Paltrow is sick from the get-go. There's none that she doesn't look good and then progressively get worse. I mean, she's really ill in the first 3 minutes of the movie, and
yeah.
And it just goes from there. And it does follow a number of different characters and different plots, but follows a number of different storylines that all obviously revolve around the same thing. But it was really good. Is it just a huge Oscar winner? Nah, probably not, but it was very entertaining, and I'll probably watch it again, but probably not one that I'm going to buy.
So what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I would give it a 7, and I'm curbing back my 7s from the past. I'm now that I've graded a few, I'm getting a little bit of a calibration thing. So I'm my previous.
Now you're becoming more of an elitist. God bless you.
No, I'm just being a little bit more discerning. That's all.
Okay. I just like the fact that you just use the word discerning. Awesome.
Yeah, I looked it up before the podcast.
I appreciate that.
That's my new gig. Look up a new word every time.
I also gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a really good, solid thriller. I don't think it's a great movie. You would think with that cast it would be Oscar caliber, but you can tell why it was released in September, I think. Because it's just one of those where it's good. It's pretty good, but it's not great. The plot is a little over the place in parts, I think.
Yeah.
They really don't have a distinct continuation of the story. Where I think where Traffic, at the very end, it all just, boom, comes together and you're like, oh, now I get it. You know what I mean? And I think they were trying that with this and trying to make all the stories interlace. And I really just don't think they did because I think it's just too wide of a concept. But I think for the most part did a great job. I think all the actors obviously did a great job. The fact that Gwyneth Paltrow died early on, that was good. Especially, I'm still bitter about...
You ain't country strong now, bitch.
Wow. I'm still bitter about Saving Private Ryan not winning the Best Picture over Shakespeare in Love. So the actors themselves did a great job. Lawrence Fishburne I thought was really good. The actress that played the doctor, working primarily on the cure, I really don't know her name. That's the one you
French chick.
Yeah.
That's the one you keep messing up.
She was on the Daily Show promoting the movie. She's a cutie.
She is a cutie. And Kate Winslet, who I love, Kate Winslet.
She's on my list.
She's I'd go down with her Titanic. I don't even know what that means, but I want to.
I don't know if I'm more embarrassed or freaked out by you right now.
Kate Winslet.
She even on her deathbed, I still would have. I'm not gonna lie. She's sitting there. She's deathly ill, and I'd still go for it. I don't care. I'd give it 7 out of 10 as well. So Brian and I both kind of agree on that. It's a good movie. There's not much out right now, so it's worth checking out for sure.
One funny thing at the towards the end of the last, probably 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, there's a guy in the theater sneezed, and half the people in the movie were cracking up laughing because the whole movie is all about virus and transmitting, and they do a really good job with the movie of showing you how things get transmitted by people touching stuff and wiping their nose or whatever, and not
in a
cleaning
movie
their
like
hands.
that, that's like shouting fire.
Right, exactly. So the last 5 minutes of the movie, some guy sneezes and you hear people chuckling all over the theater.
It was funny watching people leave because nobody was touching the door. Nobody touched the handle.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, people like touch it with their elbow or something, or
Yeah, or just waiting for the old lady to take her chances, and then we'll just follow her out. That kind of thing. It was great. You go into the men's room. Finally, you see people washing their fucking hands. I thought it was phenomenal. Because trust me, every time I've peed at a theater, I ain't never seen anybody wash their hands. It made me scared to eat popcorn. It's a good movie, good solid movie.
How many people are sticking their hands in your popcorn?
You'd be amazed, buddy. When you cut a hole in it, a lot of people want to take a slice. And speaking of Contagion, it was the #1 movie at the box office and one of the worst weekends of the year. It made $22.5 million. So it was #1, did really well. It'll probably hold in for a little bit. The Help is still in at #2. Everything else flopped. The Warrior.
Well, speaking of flops, we mentioned, what was it last week about The Creature?
Yes.
The half alligator, half man thing that goes around the swamp.
Yes, that also came out this weekend. Please explain how that one did.
It did. It set records. In this case, though, not the good records. It debuted at a whopping $331,000
out of like 1,500 theaters, right?
Over 1,500 theaters. If you average it out, I believe the article said if you average it out with $10 a ticket, it basically turned out to be like 2 people per screen.
I think it's awesome. and can you imagine being on that date? Oh, it's opening weekend. Come on, baby.
Right.
I'll show you
early.
a good time.
Let's go. Make sure we get our tickets early.
You would never get late again.
You definitely wouldn't that night. I can promise you that.
$331,000. That is hilarious.
That's better than I thought I was going to do. But I didn't think it was going to open wide at all. What else do we have? The stuff that's coming out this weekend. Real quick, here's what the positive scores are. Straw Dogs is coming out. That's the one where James Marsden and Kate Bosworth. Yes. You want to see that?
I saw the original, and I really liked the original with Dustin Hoffman, so I want to see it for that reason alone.
What's this one about?
Well, the plot looks the exact same as the original, but they're just a couple that comes back home to deal with some family business, and then an old boyfriend of the wife's end up causing some issues with the family, and some bad things happen. And then at some point, at least in the original, Dustin Hoffman snapped. So
right.
It looks like the commercial. It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm recalling the trailer.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away.
We were talking about a comedy, but no, this is not.
No. And the violence, gotcha. It's very reminiscent of like Last House on the Left, kind of. At least the remake is. I don't know. The original was a really good movie. It wasn't great, but it was a really good movie. And Dustin Hoffman was great in it.
Yep.
But this one is only getting 40% positive reviews. So, it's kind of
James Marsden's no comparison.
He's no Dusty Hoffman. No. The other one that's coming out, and I'll get to one here in a second, but I don't know how she does it, is Sarah Jessica Parker, and she's like the mom juggling work, family, and Pierce Brosnan as a temptation, apparently.
Yeah, move on.
It's 42% positive. That means negative, by the way. And then the other one coming out, now this is this weekend. We're going to talk about what's coming up a little longer, but Drive is coming out, and that's at 95% positive.
Fuck yeah, man. Looks awesome.
It's been a long time since an action flick has been 95% positive. That's the one with Ryan Gosling as like the stunt driver who moonlights as a getaway driver, and then he like gets involved in a heist and it goes bad and da-da-da-da. Apparently, this plot's been done 1 billion times, but they do it well.
My wife said of him, he'd look really hot if he didn't look 12 years old.
Your wife's an interesting lady. So
yeah, it looks good. I really want to see it. I've loved all the trailers I've seen.
Yeah, I'm getting worried though because it's really being pushed really hard right now, and anytime they do that, the movie never seems to live up to the hype. But that being said, I really want to see this too, and really looking forward to checking it out.
Me too. I'll probably go see it this weekend.
Yeah, I'll probably take the wife out to see it. If she's good.
That's good. You can get her out of the house. That's very nice of you to take her outside once in a while.
I'm going to give her.
I get her out of the cage. We go out. I'll throw a burger down her throat. Maybe a Happy Meal.
Throw a burger down her throat. Oh, it don't mean nothing.
September 23rd is the upcoming weekend. And that's where we've got 4 movies coming out. 4 exciting cinema events. We're going to pick one of these as our favorite for the weekend, and I pray it's the first one.
I think we're all going to be picking the same one.
Yeah. Abduction is the first one, where you've got that sexy werewolf, Taylor Lautner. His parents apparently get killed, and he finds out he was adopted in some mysterious reason, and it looks like so dramatic, and I hope he turns into a werewolf and gets shot in the fucking head.
Blah, blah, blah. Looks like a Shia LaBeouf movie.
It does. Shia LaBeouf 5 years ago. Like, Shia LaBeouf now wouldn't do it. Like, look, I did 3 Transformers. Fuck you. I'm not doing that. Moneyball's coming out. That's Brad Pitt. And this is actually based on a true story. He's trying to change the game of baseball. And the way he did it is by basing how he hired players on statistics as opposed to just star status and athletic ability, apparently. It's really interesting.
I hate baseball. I hate baseball.
I hate baseball too.
So much.
The fact this actually changed the game, I think it's kind of interesting.
If it didn't add topless women or something into it, I don't care. I mean, even if it's based on a true story.
That's
fine.
Called Basketball. He made that movie.
I don't like baseball. I find the sport so boring that the thought of watching a movie about that sport, fucking boring. Same reason I didn't like Major League. Even though it's kind of funny.
My God.
I hate baseball.
Willie Mays Hayes.
I hate it. Well, I broke my nose playing Little League Baseball, and I have hated the sport ever since because it personally violently attacked me. So fuck that sport.
I don't think the baseball attacked you.
It did. You didn't see the look on his face when it bounced up off the ground and popped me in the nose? Fucker said, you got this coming. So, F that sport.
That's fucking funny. You're on a roll today. The Killer Elite's coming out, and I'm sure this is going to be most people's pick.
Yes.
But Jason Statham, Clive Owen, and Robert De Niro are just shooting the fuck out of each other, and basically that's what the plot is.
You left out an actor, though.
Who?
Clive Owen's shitty-ass mustache. Jesus Christ. Where did he get that thing? It's the only thing that makes me go, oh no. Dude looks like he should be on a 70s porn set with that mustache. It's terrible.
Well, I don't even know what to say. Yes, his mustache does play a prominent role, and I think it's part of the twist. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I hope there is a reason he has that shitty ass facial hair.
Oh, there's a reason. There is a reason. Jason Statham, I really don't know. The trailers I've seen have kind of varied, and it's one of those I actually do want to see, so I kind of stay away from too much story info, even though because it's a simple genre flick. So I'm afraid the more you know, you're gonna know the entire movie if you know the entire plot.
Yep.
So I'm trying to stay away from it. The other one that's coming out, which my daughter's dying to see, so I don't know, maybe I'll go see it, is Dolphin Tale. And that's...
What did you go wrong in your parenting that she wants to see that?
If she says she wants to see Abduction, that's where I did something wrong. Harry Connick Jr. is in a fucking family flick about a dolphin. That's really all you need to know. If you got kids and you can't go see anything else, I recommend taking them to see Contagion, but you can see Dolphin Tale if you want. And it's in 3D.
Turn them into just wanting to live in a bubble.
Exactly. Then they won't want to watch fucking Abduction, I promise you. What do you guys think? Any of those sound interesting? Obviously not the baseball one, because they're very scary.
I'm going to swim upstream here, and I'm going to go with Moneyball.
Really?
Yes, because unlike you two homosexuals, I do like baseball.
Please, football is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm a football
fan. I love football too. But I mean, I like baseball, and I basically know this story anyway. And spoiler alert here: there's no feel-good ending where Oakland wins the World Series because
that's true.
They haven't even made it to the playoffs with this system. So
they just improved their record.
Brad Pitt won't be vindicated.
No.
Nah, sorry.
And here's what I want to address this with you, Brian, because you kind of made it sound like it makes you a homosexual if you don't like baseball. I would stand to reason that the sport is so gay at this point, homosexuals are
it's not
excluded
enough for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen the Astros uniforms? Hello.
Well, maybe that might have been popular with them in the 80s.
I'll be honest with you. Baseball is one of the most boring sports in the world to watch on television. I like going to a game. Don't get me wrong. If you can get a bunch of friends and go to a game, fun as hell. But if it's on television, why? It's like watching golf. It's like watching what did George Carlin always said, watching flies fuck. I don't understand the point of watching.
If you're there with your friends and you got some ballpark franks and some beers, sure. But at home,
there are many things wrong with baseball. First, being the season is way too long. It needs to be shortened and not be played every single day of the week.
It's a pregnancy term. There are babies that are born and before the season is over. That's a problem.
Trust me, I know it. Trust me, I know. And that's one of my problems with it. And it is, if you're just a casual observer, it is a very boring game to watch. But there are things about it that I enjoy. I love watching a game where people are scoring, like crazy. I love watching some of the spectacular plays that people make whenever they're diving for a baseball. And I also love watching, a great pitching performance when somebody is pitching a perfect game or a no-hitter. And, it's a really good game. That being said, I'm not watching a baseball game every single night. I don't watch them. It's hard for me to watch.
I don't actually watch baseball.
It's hard for me to watch a full game for 3 straight hours.
That's really what he wants to say. I don't actually watch baseball, but I'm going to defend it because my daddy watched it with me.
But I do. I love baseball. I mean, I play fantasy baseball just like I play fantasy football.
God, how do you play fantasy baseball? Wouldn't that change every fucking day?
Yes.
You'd have to have computer programs designed to watch all those stats for you.
Yeah, there's no way I can keep up with that. Fantasy football, it's once a week. I can keep up with that.
Yep. Give me any given Sunday.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more work. It's a lot more. It's more grueling, but it's
the American pastime. I think America chose a different one. And you know what? It's a football.
That's right. What the fuck, Roma? What were you thinking?
Did you see that game?
God.
That last quarter, I think he should have just gotten up and walked home.
Should eat it. I don't even want to talk about it.
So what's your that's Brian's pick is Moneyball. What's yours, Justin?
Oh, Killer Elite by a country mile.
That simple? Cut and dry? Nothing
Cut
more
and
to
dry.
add? Okay.
It's got two of my favorite actors in it. Even Bobby De Niro. I'm not, I don't live and breathe by his work. But in fact, in the trailers, it's almost like, really? You're in this? But still, I like Jason Statham quite a bit. So I'm really sure I could get the wife to go see this one.
Okay.
Because she likes her some Jason Statham too.
Yeah.
And Clive Owen. Just, I don't know if that mustache is going to kill it for her. Because it is a pedo mustache. I'm sorry.
I just love the fact that Clive Owen was actually at one time a really highly respected actor, and now he's doing movies with Jason Statham.
Well, hell, he was talked about maybe being the next Bond way back in the day.
Yeah. He's not going to get it with that mustache, I promise you. Never.
Did you ever see the movies that he did for BMW?
Yes, they were really good.
Yeah, BMW put out a free DVD, and I remember ordering it, and it came with all of those The Hire little short films. They were pretty good.
He's really good, but he kind of blew his chance. His chance is kind of over.
Children of Men was really good. Personally, my favorite film he's done was Closer.
Yes, that's a very good movie. Yep.
Julia
Julianne Moore.
Well, no, Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts and who else was in there? Natalie Portman was in it, wasn't she?
Yeah, and Obi-Wan. Jude Law. Jude Law
Ewan
didn't play
McGregor.
Obi-Wan. What am I thinking? No, it was Jude Law.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor? Ewan McGregor?
Well, no, Ewan McGregor wasn't. It was Jude Law, Julia Roberts, and Clive Owen, and
Natalie Portman.
Oh, that movie was awesome. It was so good.
And now he's doing Jason Statham movies with a shitty mustache.
I like Jason. Why are you saying he's a step down?
No, well, come on now.
I think his career is kind of on an upward, slow, but upward trajectory.
I think his every movie makes $35 million. Every movie. He is becoming, if he isn't careful, he's going to be Steven fucking Seagal.
He could, yes.
But
doing a Dungeon Siege movie ain't helping.
No.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah, but him.
I'm sorry, I keep taking us on tangents. I apologize.
That's okay. He, the fact that he is doing a movie with Robert De Niro, that'll give him some credit. He's doing Expendables 2. That'll give him some credit. But he's got to stop making the Seagal movies. Because some of the movies he does, honestly, the plots are a little reminiscent of a Steven Seagal movie.
He kind of taking that Samuel L. Jackson path where just any script that comes across his desk, he's taken.
He hadn't said no yet.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like 10 years ago, he couldn't get a job, and now all of a sudden he's like, "Fuck, I'll do it." Transporter 4, I'll do it. Let's go. My pick, the movie I want to see the most is Killer Elite. I'm not gonna lie, but my pick of the week is gonna be Dolphin Sale because I already promised my daughter I would take her to see it. She loves dolphins.
Oh.
I want to introduce her to dolphins, so therefore, yeah. There you go.
Ryan, do you smell something?
Mangina.
Smell something.
Fuck all of you.
Enjoy
your
time with the kids.
But you know what I'm doing by taking her to Dolphin Tale? I'm keeping her out of abduction. That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping
I'm
her
glad
away.
you're taking her to see that because I know she told me she wanted me to take her to see Abduction. So,
Wow. You are not going to be making it through this podcast. This might be the last time you guys talk to Brian Williams. With that, it is now time for Stump the Hoe.
You need to make some jingo.
Music or something?
What do they call it? Yeah, a little music.
Some like game show music.
Just get a prostitute that says "Stump me" or something like that. This is the part where we do a little trivia question, where the person whose turn it is gives us, the podcasters, a trivia question, and we try to answer it, and we will answer it for the audience when we come back from break. So this week it's Brian's turn, so he's going to try and make us feel stupid. Go ahead.
Normally that's not too hard, but in this case, you actually have a shot of getting this right.
Sweet.
All right. This skilled chef has a standing reservation on Saturday Night Live and was once considered for the role of Han Solo.
Skilled chef?
I'll even give you a hint. His first name is Ronald.
Okay, say that one more time for me.
Yeah. Skilled chef?
This skilled chef has a standing reservation on Saturday Night Live to be one of the hosts, and he was considered for the role of Han Solo. And I'll give you a hint: his first name is Ronald, or Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Huh.
I'm stumped. Ronald Reagan was in politics at that time, and way too old to be shooting Greedo. Fuck me. And it's the second week in a row we've had a Star Wars related question, by the way. Just letting you know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. And I can't even think of a Ronald. Fuck, and I can't Google. I'm going to have to go with a Ronald Reagan. Yeah, it's the only Ronald I can think of. What's your call?
I'm racking my brain and I'm coming up completely dry.
Damn
Nothing.
You stumped us.
Standing invitation for SNL, skilled chef. It's almost Han Solo. Fuck. You think those three filters would narrow this down to a shining answer? Wow.
They are very specific, aren't they?
So what's your guess?
I have no. Ronald McDonald. Fuck. I don't know.
All right. Well, we will get the answer from Mr. Williams when we return from break. Right now, listen. Here's a trailer. And it will be Fireflies in the Garden. And that is apparently a very old fucking movie. But it's coming out next month, so get ready.
Michael, what did I tell you about touching the glass? That's it.
What are you doing? Michael! I'm sure Michael's landed by now. He's probably just about there.
Welcome home. It's just great to see you again.
You should put your seatbelt on.
It'll wrinkle my gown.
Lisa's dead. I'm so sorry. Where's Michael?
He's making the arrangements.
Michael's making the arrangements.
Don't.
I heard you just finished a new book. What's it about?
Open the door! Charlie, open this door! That book is gonna kill your dad.
I don't know why. Living with him is like Christmas every day.
Lisa was so good. She loved me. Listen to me.
All I've ever done is listen to you! Get away from her!
Who are you? Mommy's little protector?
I heard you took the kids fishing before your mother's funeral.
Yeah, what's the big deal? Your behavior is embarrassing. For who?
For the family!
Hey, Dad. Hasn't always been like this, has it? What do you remember most about my mother?
When she smiled, she had the happiest eyes.
Sorry.
How can you be sorry when you have no idea what you're apologizing for?
Look at my watch, and those numbers line up. Reminds me to tell my mom that I love her.
I love you big. I love you bigger.
I think your mother would have been very happy.
She was happy.
You suck, you know that?
But she loved me.
And that was Fireflies in the Garden, which is a really old movie that's coming out next month. Brian Williams, Stump the Hoe. We have no fucking clue what the answer is. If you could just recap that and give us an answer.
All right. One more time. This skilled chef has a standing reservation to be host on Saturday Night Live, and he was also considered for the role of Han Solo. And to give you a hint, his first name is Ronald. Any idea? Last chance?
No idea.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher, that don't sound like Ronald.
Cheater!
Oh, cheating!
Cheater! I assume that's his real name. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
You sneaky little bastard.
So
Yeah, that Ronald fucked me up. If I'd kept with SNL and Han Solo, I probably would have figured that one out. But
yeah.
And the chef was kind of throwing me, but that Ronald is what really threw me off.
Right. the chef thing, he is a skilled chef. However, of course, it's not his main job. It's just something that he likes to do. But
yeah, I hear his main job is acting. It's
that's kind of what I heard. So.
Well, that's good to know. Now, if you would have given me a hint, like, well, his first name is Christopher and his last name is Walken, I think I would have got it. So next time, keep that in mind. We're going to move into our From the Outside In, which is our weekly topic where we go over whatever's going on in the world or what we want to talk about. This week, we're talking fall TV. It is the fall TV season. This is the time when all the new shit comes out, and half of it will be gone by the middle of October. So we kind of want to give you an idea of the shows we're looking forward to, hopefully to give you something to look at, and then we'll let you know some of the ones that are returning that we're looking forward to the most. So we're going to start with Justin. Each one of us is going to go over 3 new shows, the 3 shows we're looking forward to the most, and we'll talk about them as they go, and then we'll just go from there. Go ahead, Justin.
All right. My first show that's one of the new shows that's coming out, and there's a surprising number of new shows coming out this season, especially considering how good they all look.
A ton.
A ton of them. And on my list originally had been a show called Ringer, which is a CW show starring Sarah Michelle Gellar, where she plays twins. One of them dies, the other one takes over her life. I like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Of course, I like her primarily as Buffy. That's what I like her in. And I really went into the show looking forward to enjoying a new show with her. Unfortunately, it is a CW show, and I mean that in all of the worst aspects of what a CW show is. And by that I mean an incredible overuse of music, especially music from people I've never fucking heard of. And so the whole show, the premiere episode was yesterday, just played out like this really poor soap opera / music video. And by the end of it, I immediately went through my DVR menu and took it off because the acting was above average, barely, but the music, the cinematography, I wanted something a little meatier than just, and it is a soap opera, which I guess since that's how Sarah Michelle Gellar started her career, it's fitting that she's kind of going back to that mold. I could not have been more bored and disappointed. So Ringer, off my list.
Wow. So
now,
what's on your list?
What's on my list, the top show is called The River. It's from Steven Spielberg and Oren Peli, I believe you pronounce his name. Oren Peli is the writer, creator, director of Paranormal Activity. So as you can imagine, the show is going to have a lot of that kind of captured footage quality to it. And it's basically about this famous network documentarian who goes missing on the Amazon. And he's been missing for years when sudden signal or something is sent off from his boat. And now his family and another team of people go to the Amazon to find him and find out what happened. From watching the trailer for it, it's really like this intense combination of Lost and Paranormal Activity. There's a lot of mystery surrounding it. There's some kind of strange force that is at work. It is definitely a supernatural show, and just everything about it pulled at my imagination. I really want this show to work. I'm hoping it works. It's incredibly mysterious, and I want to see where they're taking it.
And the central mystery is finding out what happened to Daddy-O.
Finding out what happened to him. Why is he not on the boat? What happened to the boat? Where is he at? What's going on? It's a lot of supernatural looking shenanigans. I love Lost.
What's in the hatch?
What's
in the hatch?
What's in the hatch? What's this? So hopefully it will really kind of satisfy the hole that's been left since Lost went off the air. That's top one.
Okay.
Do you want me to do all 3 of them?
Well, I'd like to talk about them when
Round
you're
table?
done. That's one that I kind of want to see,
Okay.
just because of what you've told me about it. But I get hesitant every time they come up with anything that sounds eerily reminiscent of Lost. Not because I'm afraid that they won't be able to answer stuff. It's because every time they do that, historically, it's failed. It's not been nearly what it promised. I mean, you can go through the labyrinth of lost clones to find those.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with Steven Spielberg and the Paranormal Activity guy behind it, I'm curious. I'll give the pilot a try, and if it holds up any steam, then I'll follow it after that.
I can't wait for it.
Brian, do you want to see that?
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the 3 people who never watched Lost. So, and I'm actually, in the way that from what I gathered, the way that it ended, I'm glad I didn't invest 6 or 7 years into it, like some of you suckers. But,
whoever told you how it ended lied then, because it ended phenomenally, and I will not hear a bad word said.
Well, I won't say any names, but the only hint I'll give you is he's on this podcast
right now.
You fucking liar.
With us right now.
I didn't.
Fuck him.
No,
I didn't like the ending.
He really didn't say much bad about it, but it's not, and it's not just whatever he told me. It's just sounds like the payoff wasn't near as good as what you invested into it. So,
real quick on that, the payoff for the characters was perfect. It was the payoff for the story, for the actual island story, that I thought was lame. But
okay,
we'll do a Lost show. It's some
I probably could do a whole show on Lost. Honestly,
I could.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, I mean, but your choice sounds. I mean, it sounds good, and like I say, the fact that Spielberg's involved kind of piques my interest a little bit more. So.
Yeah, but Spielberg wasn't he involved in that Falling Skies show?
Yes, which was.
I couldn't make it through. I barely made it through that pilot episode. That was so terrible.
TNT, you do not fucking know drama. I hate that.
No, you're right. They don't know drama, but I finished the whole series.
Oh, really?
And it actually got better the last probably 4 or 5 episodes. They actually had.
So you got to
some
suffer
sort of
through like 10 or 12 fucked up ones before you finally get to some decent shit.
Well, yeah, I think there was only like 10 episodes. So I mean, you did have to wade through a little bit of boredom basically. But
yeah, I'm gonna die.
It took a while to get started, but the last probably 3 or 4 episodes were actually pretty good, and it actually had a little bit of drama that kind of kept you coming back. So it's so I will. It was enough to get me to watch the next season, but that's kind of the last straw with me. If it doesn't get significantly better, I'll probably cut that one loose.
What your next one is actually one I'm really looking forward to, but go ahead.
All right, now my next one is called Person of Interest, and it's a show that first piqued my interest because J.J. Abrams' name is attached to it, who, of course, is part of the creation of Lost, which we've already talked about before. And it's also got Jonathan Nolan, who is brother of Christopher Nolan. He wrote, Memento, Inception, Dark Knight. So the guy's got some writing chops. And it stars Michael Emerson as this mystery man who has access to lists of numbers that represent people who are about to commit crimes. Where he gets these numbers from, apparently from the trailers, is a bit of mystery. How he gets them is more mystery. But he comes to hire Jim Caviezel to stop these people from doing whatever it is they're going to do. It looks really, really interesting and a smart show. And I love that they've got Michael Emerson in it. I think the guy was phenomenal on Lost. I'm really glad he's going to keep working in Hollywood, and I'm sure he'll bring the same level of skill to this show as he did the other one. It's kind of a strange mix of, a little Minority Report with, seeing crimes before, stopping them before they're committed, but more in a modern day setting, of course, with all the hidden, the cameras that seem to surround us night and day now playing a part, and that whole Big Brother feel to it. But it looks really, really interesting, and J.J. Abrams has really yet to disappoint me.
That's one I am really looking forward to. I really think it's going to be a good show. Everything I've heard about it has been solid. When does that one come out? I know the River, you didn't know when that came out, but when does Person of Interest come out?
Person of Interest comes out September 22nd.
Ooh, so that's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Cool, because I'm going to check it out. I just, like I've said before, I like Jim Caviezel a lot, but everything he touches is either really good or really bad. So it won't be long. It won't, it won't take too many episodes for me to figure out if I'm going to keep watching it or not.
I really think
I'm definitely giving it a shot.
I really think this is going to be one that's good. From what I've seen, and I think Michael Emerson is one of those guys that he can elevate material.
Mm-hmm.
Like I agree with you. I think on Lost, he brought that show up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
When it was just starting to sink, and I think he can make this material really, really solid. So I'm definitely giving this one a shot, and I'll probably give it a couple episodes. So if the first one doesn't click right away, and Jim Caviezel's in Frequency, which is one of my favorite movies. So
That was the time travel show
movie?
movie?
Yeah, the one. Dennis Quaid. I'm a sucker for Dennis Quaid. What?
Yes,
I
we
am.
know.
What is the next one?
All right, my last one is a shot straight to my genre, love and heart, and it's of course it's gonna be Terra Nova. It looks a little Jurassic Park, looks a little Land of the Lost. The story starts off 150 years in the future, where Earth is a polluted shithole, which doesn't seem too far off the mark considering how we're treating it now. And then for some reason, they figure out how to time travel, and they start sending people back in time about 65 million years. For what ultimate purpose? I don't know. I don't know if they're setting up a Sandals resort back in the Jurassic era, but the show focuses on this Shannon family, and apparently the dad has some kind of a shady past. And of course, they go back in time and discover that dinosaurs are problematic, which you'd figure they would, we as a species would have figured out with all the TV shows and movies and whatnot we've created. Dinosaurs, yeah, they're usually not, not a calm or cohesive element to any kind of human endeavor.
They are whenever I've seen them at the museum. I'm just saying.
Well, these are a little more lively than what you're going to see. The people who are behind it are not people that I've really heard of before. You would think this would be a Spielberg joint.
Yeah, I thought it was when I first heard about it.
But I have no idea who's all behind it. It looks really good. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I really want them to explain why, okay, the future sucks. Let's go back and do a period where it's not so bad. Fine. Why's it got to be dinosaurs? Why can't it be, during the rise of the mammals? Or maybe that's why they didn't want to do it. I want them to explain some of this stuff. But it looks cool. Really cool adventure. I'm in. I'll see it. And that one starts September 26th.
What is it on Fox?
It is on Fox, which of course, Fox is
makes me nervous.
Well known for a quick trigger finger when it comes to killing shows. They've earned my undying hatred for a lot of shows that they have killed off. Their only saving grace lately has been Fringe, which they have had rights to kill a couple of times, and they have yet to do so. That gives me some hope that maybe they're not so quick on the trigger anymore. We'll see.
I really want to see this one. This is actually one that I'm really looking forward to. My concern is that it's a sci-fi show and it's on Fox, and they won't give it the fair treatment because, when it comes to genre on Fox, they really don't treat it very well.
Yeah, I mean, they're promoting the fuck out of it. Hopefully that's a sign that they really believe in it and not oh shit, let's do whatever we can to get eyeballs because we're really afraid this one's not going to go.
Yeah.
Well, one thing going for it, though, is the special effects look really good for a TV show.
Yeah, it doesn't look like sci-fi movie.
Right, I was going to say, that's exactly what the example I was going to use is Sci-Fi Channel. Because
this ain't Mega Shark versus whatever.
Right. So, they look Jurassic Park quality.
And there's no other show
consider
it's
a
like
TV
it.
show. Right, exactly.
Well, and they should, because Jurassic Park came out how long ago? They should be able to keep up with that shit.
It's Jurassic Park still looks better than a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, but we talked about that last week. But I mean, even though it's been 15, 16 years or so since Jurassic Park come out, they still can't hardly touch it in the theaters, much less on TV.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this pans out. This should be good.
My fingers are crossed.
What are your and there's two shows that you're looking forward to returning? What are those? Your two favorite ones?
Well, I would have said Sons of Anarchy, but that's already started.
Oh, you fucking sneaky bastard! You found a way
taking
around
that one off my list because that show is awesome.
It is awesome.
People ain't watching it. You should be watching it.
But you should finish listening to the podcast first.
Well, listen to the podcast, but then go watch it because it's awesome. My first show is Supernatural. This is another CW show, but it is very much an un-CW show. It doesn't have all of the hip new musical acts dropping their songs constantly into the show. It has been going on for 6 seasons now. I feel like every season has been strong. I think a lot of people don't watch it either because A, it's a CW show.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid it's going to be like every other CW show.
Yep.
Or B.
Even Brian's like, yep, that's why I ain't watching it.
Yeah, because I'm like 3 times the age of the demographic that they're shooting for.
Yes.
Right. And normally, if it was on any other network, I think it would get more attention. But because it's CW, and for a long time it had been paired up with Smallville, which is another show I really enjoyed. Though Smallville, I enjoyed on a different geek level than I do Supernatural. But Supernatural, it's a very strong, very dark show. It is not your typical CW fare. It follows the adventures of these two brothers, Sam and Dean Winchester, whose father was a hunter of the supernatural, goes missing, and they have spent 6 seasons continuing the hunt for the supernatural, taking their fight to the devil himself straight into hell. It is very dark. It is brutal. It is endlessly entertaining, and I try and get everyone I know to give it a try. The first season is not. I would never say the first season is weak, but the mythology that they develop for the show really doesn't hit its stride until you get to the end of season 1, and then season 2 forward, it becomes very much a serial show. They have monsters of the week on occasion, but there's constantly this backstory that these seasons are telling. Very strong. It starts September 23rd. I hope a lot of people go out there and pick them up on DVD. I own every season on Blu-ray.
Oh wow!
It's a phenomenal show. It's not. I would never call it a Buffy, but in its own way, I think it's as strong as Buffy was.
And I think Jensen Ackles makes that show. My opinion.
Well, he is really good, and Jared Padalecki, I think, is I'd say almost just as strong. And if you're a Deadwood fan, one of the guys from Deadwood is in it. He plays a character named Bobby Singer. An old, crusty, grizzled hunter that they rely on as a father figure type. This is delved into Christian mythology, every other mythology. It's a really fun show, and I cannot recommend it highly enough.
What's your second show?
My second show would have to be Fringe.
Oh.
I'm not sure when the next season is starting. I don't know why more people aren't watching it. It's another strong genre show. I think a lot of people may have thought, it's X-Files. This is not the X-Files. As much as I love the X-Files, and one day maybe we can do a show on the X-Files, I could do one. My biggest complaint with it is that as strong as it was, they never created a mythology that they followed strongly and ended strongly.
Agreed.
The mythology was so much a back thing, and I wish it had been more honed in on. In fact, I just heard, a complete tangent, that Gillian Anderson, who played Scully, has said that they're going to be doing another X-Files movie. I'm hoping like fuck that it'll be ready for next year, because if you know the show,
2012,
the X-Files, 2012 was when the aliens come. And so that's my dream. It's my hope. It's what I've been wanting ever since the show ended, that they come back and say, this is 2012 and this is what's happening.
Yeah, quick reference to that. I was a huge X-Files fan. And I actually, whenever I revisit the show, I will not watch any episode after the end of season 7. Not one episode. I will not watch the finale again, ever. I consider the I Want to Believe a fitting ending, if that's what I end up with. Because I thought they did a nice job of wrapping up the characters, which is my main concern. Mythology? No, they totally fucked that up. But
it was such a good show, and the potential was so let down. But then again, back then, Chris Carter, I don't know if he felt like he would have been given the opportunity to create to make the show more driven by mythology and given an ending. Mm-hmm. That was one of the smartest things they did with Lost, was say, we need an end date, because if we don't, we're just going to spiral off like every other show does, somehow to, manufacture drama after drama. Give a show an end date. Go the Babylon 5 route. Go the Battlestar Galactica route. Create a story and tell it, and then be done. Don't spend 10 years with a fucking show. X-Files is a fantastic show that was unfortunately let down by their inability to do that. Fringe, though, has a much stronger story to it. And I'd probably say that the creature feature episodes versus mythology episodes, you probably get one creature feature type of episode for every 3 or 4, maybe even 5 mythology episodes, which is the opposite for the X-Files. An incredible show, fantastic special effects, great acting. It has been on for 3 seasons now. They're about to start the 4th. My wife and I watched Fringe religiously.
My mom's a big fan of that show.
Love it, love it, love it.
Brian, getting out of genre TV shows, what do you got? What are you looking forward to?
Let's see. The first one I'm looking forward to is it's a show on Showtime that's coming out. It's a new show called Homeland, and it's about a guy who was a Marine who was found after being gone. He was considered dead for about 8 years, so he's found, and he returns home. This big hero and everything, and this one CIA agent who's played by Claire Danes suspects him to be basically kind of brainwashed and to be masterminding a terrorist attack on the U.S. It's kind of one of those, is this guy really a bad, is this guy that we all consider a hero, is he really a bad guy or not? And it's the stuff I've been reading about has been pretty positive. Again, it's on Showtime. It starts October 2nd. It has, like I said, Claire Danes is in it. She plays the CIA agent, and the guy that plays the Marine that returns home is that Damian Lewis. He's the redheaded guy from the Stephen King movie.
Oh,
Dreamcatcher.
Yep, I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Kind of, he's kind of evil looking.
Didn't he do that TV show Life or something?
Yes. He did.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's
that lasted
actually
all of about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
I think they canceled it mid episode.
That was a good show. I like that show.
So,
I think mid-episode. They just pulled it off
They're
right
like,
in the middle.
What TV goes dark.
What were we thinking here? We're going to play
They just put on a card and they're like, "Sorry, we made a mistake."
We're going to, we stop it midway. We're going to play the Jeffersons for the rest of the episode.
Which, real quick, I'll be real quick. Last night we were watching the debate, the other night we were watching the Republican debate, and Herman Cain comes on and starts talking. My wife, and she's not one that makes jokes like this because obviously she is of race. She bursts out in the middle of it. Yeah. Why is George Jefferson running for president? I couldn't stop laughing. So if you know who Herman Cain is, that shit's funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I do want to see that. I think that looks really, really good. I don't have Showtime, so unfortunately I kind of have to wait. But everything I've heard about that show has been very interesting. It's a really cool concept. I mean, that the actual supposed terrorist is the focus of the show.
Right. A couple other people, that Marina Baccarin, I don't know. She played Anna in V.
Yeah, she was in Firefly.
Yeah,
and
she should be more remembered for Firefly.
Yeah, shame on you, Inara.
Oh God,
Inara.
She's hot.
Anyway, is she in? She's in that show.
She's in it too, and Mandy Patinkin.
Oh, well, I want to see it a lot more now.
Like I said, that comes out October 2nd, and the another one is it's on AMC, who just is on a massive roll. Like everything they touch is freaking gold as far as I'm concerned, as far as their shows, which is really one of the main reasons I want to check this one out. It's called Hell on Wheels, and it is about basically a guy who's joins the railroad to get revenge on somebody who killed his wife.
Joins the railroad?
Yeah, it takes place back in the 1860s. It's kind of a Western, but this he's a former Confederate soldier, enter redneck joke here, who, so he goes on this quest for vengeance, to get revenge on the guy that killed his wife. So he ends up at the Union Pacific Railroad, and the whole construction, they're building it. That's kind of the whole thing that revolves around that. Colm, I'm assuming he's the bad guy because he usually plays a heavy.
Okay.
Cole Meany,
yeah, he's in it. The main character, I don't recognize him, but
I'm trying to figure out, outside of the revenge thing, what's going to carry the story every week out of that? I mean, he works for the railroad. Is it kind of just standard drama, or is it?
I think if from what I've picked up from the preview, I think he actually goes to work for the railroad, and even probably for the guy that killed his wife. But I'm assuming he's got some bigger plan other than just walking up to him and shooting him. So.
Obviously, one that will last at least 13 episodes.
Right. I don't think the series would last too long if that was the case. So.
One more show that ended mid episode.
Right. But Common is in it, the rapper slash actor. So, but he's, I'm not familiar with his music too much, but the few movies I've seen him in, he's actually been pretty good. So
yeah, he's all right.
He's got one of those voices, like a deep, gruff voice.
That what turns you on?
Yes. Yes, you finished my thought. Thank you.
What's your
It's on
next?
AMC though, so I'm interested already.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
They've got a pretty good run here lately with good shows. So
What's your next one?
my last one is one that's on it's coming out on BBC America, and it's called Bedlam, and it looks scary as shit.
I've never fucking heard of this show, but go ahead.
It's basically, the premise is basically it's it's an insane asylum that has been converted into apartments. And
Good idea. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. That's how you're going to get real estate investments.
but the show, it may be total shit for all I know, but the preview looks scary as hell. I'm definitely going to give this a shot. It comes out October 1st. It's on BBC America, which, I don't know how many cable providers out there have that, but I know I've got DirecTV, and it's on there. So if you have DirecTV or one of the other satellite companies, then you probably have it. But if you've got just regular cable, you may not have it. So
there's a good chance you
I don't
can't
know,
watch two
because
of Brian's
I had
shows.
Mediacom before, and it wasn't on there before, so that's why I say that. So I don't know about the other providers. So.
And Brian works for DirecTV, by the way. He wants you to get Showtime and BBC America. So if you could call your local provider when this podcast is over, you can get that taken care of.
I like DirecTV.
I absolutely, honestly, I love DirecTV. It's expensive, but it's
Would you like to
totally
give us your
worth it.
account number so we can order and give you a Benjamin?
Absolutely, I'll have that for you. I'll post that on our Facebook page.
I appreciate that. Those are three good picks, and I actually I really like Bedlam and Hell on Wheels, because I did not know of these shows until you brought them up.
Well, and that was kind of what I was going for. There was a handful of shows that I knew, like Terra Nova. I knew that
You knew one of us would pick
I knew
it.
one of you were going to pick it. So I tried to reach it to go a little deeper, try to find something that you may not catch on your standard TV commercials. Like I said, they are primarily on channels that you may or may not get with standard cable, but they both look really interesting. And I will try to find a link for Bedlam and post that on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hey, let's be honest. If all they get are the network channels, they probably don't get podcasts. So it's okay. They don't have the internet in 1998. So what are your two returning shows that you're most looking forward to?
Boardwalk Empire on
Ooh.
HBO.
God damn, dude. Do you watch anything that's on regular television? Fucking high roller. I got HBO, Showtime, BBC America.
Well, sure, he probably gets them for free.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's Steve Buscemi is the kind of the main guy in this show, and it takes place in Prohibition, U.S. back in what was 20s or so, and it's just a really good drama. It's kind of like Sopranos, almost 100 years ago, so that's really good. It's and the other one is Walking Dead on AMC.
Oh, good choice.
When is that starting up?
Walking Dead starts mid-August. I'm sorry, October. Let's try that again. October.
Okay.
So October 16th is when it premieres. But then also I've got to throw in my fascination for Survivor and Amazing Race.
Oh, reality, bitch.
Yeah.
Amazing Race, all thumbs up. Survivor, I got a thumb down.
Yeah, that one's ever since. I haven't seen it since the first season, to be honest with you. I thought the first season was genius, but I couldn't get into it after that.
Fair enough.
Okay, well,
So
I guess
what you got?
it's my turn. And since you guys collectively took most of my first choices, yeah, especially you, Terra Nova, and Person of Interest. Cock sandwich. One of the ones I'm looking forward to is it's called American Horror Story, which I don't.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailers for this? It looks really good.
Yeah, on FX.
It's on FX. It debuts October 5th at 10 p.m. Eastern. And basically what this is about is it's just like every other ghost story. A family moves into this new house, and they find out that they moved into like a haunted house. And it's haunted by like bitches that don't look like Casper at all. They're like demon bastards, and they're causing people to hallucinate, and there's a history going on, and there's a whole story behind it that obviously they just allude to. They don't go into it. Now, I don't know if it can sustain like a season. I don't really know where they're going to go with it, but the whole concept and the trailer for it were fucking awesome, I thought.
Well, aren't FX shows really short seasons?
Yeah, like 13
yeah, I think it's
episodes.
doable.
And plus, I mean, and they've got a good history. They got Rescue Me. They've got Damages.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, obviously.
The Shield.
The Shield. I mean, they when they greenlight a show, the majority
Breaking
of the time. That's AMC.
No, that's AMC.
Is Breaking Bad AMC? Oh, you're
is.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. But FX has a lot of good shows, and this is a really novel concept. I love horror. I love horror movies. So I'm really hoping they can make a show that brings back kind of like the X-Files vibe to some degree, where they can actually be scary on television. I don't think there's been a show since X-Files that actually has managed to do it.
You ain't watching Supernatural.
What's what?
You ain't watching Supernatural then?
I watched the first couple seasons of Supernatural. I just didn't think it was scary.
I think it's into some pretty dark stuff, but anyway.
Anyway, you are a staunch defender, sir.
Now that American
beat that
Horror
drum.
Story.
Yes, it's got Dylan McDermott and Connie Britton are both in it, and they're both really good
She's
actors.
hot.
Yeah, she is hot. Especially she's a MILF.
Now, is this just following them, or is this going to be something like kind of Twilight Zone or?
No, it's just them, but I really don't know anymore because they're playing it very, very close to the vest in terms of where the story goes, because they don't want to obviously give too much away, because they want you to be suckered and involved and into it and da 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 da.
Well, there's a show that the trailers really reminded me of,
Mhm.
and I mean this in all the positive ways I could possibly mean it, was Twin Peaks.
Yes,
It
very
really
much.
had a very deep Twin Peaks vibe to the trailers, and that has got me stoked because I love Twin Peaks.
As long as it's first season Twin Peaks, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, well, season 2 got so wacky that in its own way was just as entertaining, but yeah, season 1 of Twin Peaks was phenomenal, and this one has a lot of that vibe.
It definitely looks like a show that's trying to go for a specific mood, and it looks like it's playing it straight. It's not trying to be too campy, so should be interesting. My second choice is Grimm. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the previews for this, but it's really hard to explain. I actually had to like copy and paste this one because I couldn't fucking understand how to explain it. But there's a detective. He comes from a descendant of an elite line of criminal profilers known as Grimms that are charged with keeping the balance between humanity and the mythological creatures of the world. Now, you could definitely get the feeling that they're going for X-Files vibe, and obviously I lean toward those kind of shows. He teams up with this guy Monroe, who's played by Silas Weir Mitchell. He was a crazy fucker on Prison Break.
He always plays crazy fuckers.
Yeah, he's a crazy fucker in every show he does. And if you see him, you'll know. He's one of those guys where you see him and you recognize him, but you won't recognize his name. And he's like a reformed creature. And then it's these guys just going through, facing off with all the different evils and other things from the Grimm Brothers tales. So I've talked about this show before in the past. I really want to see it. I think if they do it right, it could be awesome. If they do it wrong, it's going to be a joke. But from what I've seen about it, it looks interesting. It doesn't look exactly what I was looking for, but it looks like they're trying really hard. And that comes out October 21st on NBC at 9 o'clock. Have you guys seen anything on this?
Yeah, it looks good. In fact, it's got a couple people involved in it who used to work on Angel and Buffy, which are two huge shows in my book. So that alone would pique my interest. But yeah, I like the whole notion of these fairy tales kind of living in a modern day, and this guy can see them when they're going off the rails. It looks really interesting. I'll watch it for sure.
Yeah. The previews look good. It's I've got a feeling, and maybe it's just my negative side coming out here, but it's just going to be one of those ones that I end up liking, and it gets canceled after about 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, my worry is that it's going to go into direct competition with Aaron's Next Choice.
Yes.
They're very similar in some of their story.
My next one is Once Upon a Time. Now, I realize it sounds kind of like the show that your wife would watch, but I want to see it. I liked the first few seasons of Desperate Housewives. I really don't care what anybody thinks. This sounds kind of similar, where it's fairy tale characters coming to life, and the whole thing revolves around Snow White, Prince Charming, all those guys, and they're trying to discover the land of fairy tales and fight an evil queen, and there's a spell on the entire land, and it's very soap opera-y. But from what I've seen, it looks really good. It looks very like it's hitting the mark, and I want to try it. And plus, it has what's her name, Jennifer Goodwin. That was on Big Love. I love her. She just makes me go whenever she's on. So
it's got a couple of guys from Lost on this one, which again makes me interested. So
I think it's a really interesting concept. I think if they do it right, it could be a really good show. And it's going to be on ABC on October 23rd at 8 p.m. So it's actually on right before Desperate Housewives. So it's a perfect fit. And I am not ashamed to say that I'm looking forward to seeing the show. I don't care.
I love Desperate Housewives still to this day, so fuck anybody who says it's different. I will not be held down.
Now here's where I know what the answer is going to be. But Brian, do you want to see this show?
Yeah, actually, I'll give it a shot. I'm not like jonesing for it like you are, but I'll definitely give it a shot. It looks interesting. I'm just kind of curious to see how they go with it. But it's I like some of the cast in there. Who's the other lady besides Jennifer Goodwin that's in it?
I know Adam Horowitz. I know the writers from Lost are behind it. I don't really know what the other actors are. I can't remember. Sorry.
I had one of the guys from the Full Monty. What was his name? British actor, kind of a lanky.
Robert Carlyle?
Yeah, he was on the Full Monty, and he's in this. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Robert Carlyle was in it. I didn't even realize that was him. Good call. Maybe he'll be naked. Who knows?
Oh, thank you. No. But no, it looks good. And have you guys ever, I should probably be asking Aaron this more, have you ever read a comic book called Fables?
Wasn't that like going to be a show a couple years ago? Like at one point?
They've talked about making it into a TV show, but it's a comic book.
Yeah, I've heard of the comic book. I know what the comic book is. And I thought I could have swore they were making a show a few years ago and it never happened or something.
Supposedly they were, but if you hadn't read it, I was going to say based on your wanting to see Grimm and Once Upon a Time, Fables would be a comic book you should definitely be reading because it is phenomenal.
I will check it out because I am looking forward to these two. Now, if Terra Nova would have been available or Person of Interest, it might not have made the list because honestly it was my third choice. But I want to see it regardless. Now, the shows that are returning that I'm most looking forward to, I had to struggle really hard. My first one is, anybody that knows me knows this, Psych is my favorite show that's still
Never
on
seen
TV.
it.
God, I love Psych. How could you not have seen it?
The title
genius.
Turned me off. It's like, psych! If you're an 80s kid, you know that one. I don't know. It never had anything I ever saw to go, you should watch this.
It's a show that's so stupid and so good at the same time. I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes, and it's just one that I never remember to record or to watch or make a point to watch it. But every time I'll catch one, I'll sit there and watch it, and I laugh because it's, it is good. It's so many like pop culture, 80s references,
tons of pop culture
references.
I'll take a look.
And I will tell you, it is definitely the show where, I do watch a lot of genre stuff. I mean, obviously, you can tell this from anybody that just listened to the last 20, 30 minutes. We like some genre shit. Except Brian, he likes shit you got to pay for. But when you watch, like, that's a show I can watch. I can watch 1 hour. I don't need to see the episode before it. I don't need to see the episode after it. And I could just laugh my ass off and then go on with my day. And that's what Psych is. So if you're into shows that like one and done, that's a perfect one. That's a perfect show for that. And it's kind of a procedural. There is a murder mystery, but trust me, the ridiculous comedy is the priority. Now my second one was really a lot harder. It was gonna be Castle because I'm a huge Castle fan. But
the finale from last season
was fantastic. It's definitely worth mentioning because I do love Castle and I'm not gonna miss it. But
Glee.
Fuck yeah, Glee. Glee's gonna be my fucking choice. My second pick is gonna be, it's gonna come a little shock. It's gonna be Hawaii Five-0.
What? That's it.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't watch that.
Swear to God, if you saw the season finale, it completely changed what the show all season was.
Really? Shit. Don't give me a reason to go watch it.
I'm telling you, Scott Conn, I don't care who the star is. Was it Alex Laughlin is his name?
Yeah.
He's a star. Fuck him. Scott Conn owns that show. And he's one of the few characters on a show where I say, I want to watch it because of that guy. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like when Monk was on. Monk, I wanted to watch because I wanted to see Monk. You know what I mean? I didn't really care what the case was that week or anything else. I want to see Hawaii Five-0 because Scott Conn's in it, and he's fucking awesome as Dano. And they ended the season with
don't spoil shit.
Really? The season finale's already over.
Now you got me wanting to see it.
Well, it starts off very procedurally, but it gets
ruin
much better as the season goes on. It gets a lot better.
Yeah, my wife and I started watching it because my wife just fell in love with the guy playing the lead role.
Mm-hmm.
But after like 3 episodes, 4, there wasn't anything to keep bringing us back, so we both stopped watching it. But if you're saying it got better and better, then maybe we'll have to download it on iTunes or something.
I will be honest with you that the first, it's one of those things where I DVR'd it every week because I really like Scott Caan's character. And the first 10, 12 episodes, I would just watch it when I got a chance, and I didn't really care one way or the other. The last half of the season, it really kicked into gear. Like, they finally found out what was working in the show and what wasn't.
Okay.
And it really... Right. Did you see the finale, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't it completely change, like, what the show was, as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, you definitely went... It was definitely one of those oh shit moments that you're going, I can't wait till the next season.
Yeah, and it's... Obviously, there's a good chance they'll fuck it up, but...
Right. You sold me.
Okay, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna see how it pans out. But so that took Castle's spot. I didn't think anything could take Castle's spots, but that finale did.
Brian, what were your 2 shows? I don't remember.
Boardwalk Empire and Walking Dead.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Which Walking Dead I'm really looking forward to too.
Yeah.
A couple honorable mentions that are shows that I don't know if I'll ever see, but should be mentioned for one reason or another. The best Mad Men lookalike that might be good, as far as I'm concerned, is Pan Am. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's got stewardesses. And it's apparently in 1960s.
Fucking horrible.
It does. It's getting good reviews, and Christina Ricci is amazingly hot. So
she is, but that show looks absolutely horrible.
And it'll probably be canceled.
I give the over under on 7 episodes before it's canceled.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna start a pool or something somewhere so we can keep track of that.
Put me down for 7.
I give it a full season. I think it
looks good. And I think Mad Men has created enough desire for shows that kind of have that same 50s, 60s feel that it could draw in some of that crowd.
But they're about 3 years too late to ride the Mad Men coattails.
Maybe. I'll still check it out. It looks interesting enough that I'll watch it and see how it goes.
I'll tell you what, you guys watch the first half of the season and give me a progress report after that, and then I'll consider it. I'm still saying it won't last 7 episodes.
I just hope there's a lot of Mile High Club action going on.
Yeah, that's going to happen on ABC.
Yes. Oh, God, I love Christina Ricci. That one with Samuel L. Jackson tied her up to a radiator.
Black Snake Moan. Hell yeah.
I should move on or else I'm going to have to need a moment. Most likely to make people think Joss Whedon's back on television. The Secret Circle's coming out.
Really? You thought Joss Whedon when you saw that trailer?
No, I just thought Joss Whedon because of the concept, and it seems very trying to emulate Buffy. Snarky teenagers that are witches.
Yeah, I got more of a Charmed kind of vibe from it.
Yeah, that too.
And I actually kind of liked Charm in a very... I don't even know how to put it.
I don't know, but you're on an island of shame right now, buddy.
Yeah, it's on my shows I'll watch. Charmed and Gilmore Girls are 2 shows that I loved watching, but I never watched in front of other people.
Well, you just admitted it to the internet. Good job.
And I own them both, all seasons.
All of them?
I do. I'm trying not to be ashamed.
Because you can't see Charmed every single morning on TNT?
I want it. I want to own it, and I do.
Yes, you do.
That said, this Secret Circle show looks like fucking CW bullshit, and I ain't watching it.
And Ringer is the other one with Sarah Michelle Gellar. It
sounds like your TV doesn't leave the CW channel.
Oh, please. The only CW show I watch anymore is Supernatural. Ding! Mention it again.
Wow. Okay, let's move on from that. Shows that didn't need to happen, but apparently are. The Playboy Club, because we need smutty drama at the Playboy Club.
If HBO was doing this or Showtime, I would be all over it. But network TV, Playboy Club, no titty, no, thank you.
No titty, no city.
No titty, no city.
3 episodes. That won't.
4 episodes?
Maybe. Yeah. Wow. Tops.
What about the next one, Charlie's Angels? I say just let it fucking die, but they keep bringing this shit back. Movies. Now it's coming back as another TV show because we need more Charlie's Angels action.
Drew Barrymore's involved in it, so that'll last probably a full season, but it won't be back.
She was the only reason to watch those two Charlie's Angels movies.
I kind of like Cameron Diaz's swirling ass, but
she's so
Cameron was kind of
skinny. Cameron Diaz was hot in The Mask. Ever since then, she has done absolutely nothing for me.
I agree. In The Mask, she was gorgeous, but I think they must have filled in that dress with something because.
Or she lost a lot of something. But Charlie's Angels, Drew Barrymore, that blue fucking suit she wore in the racetrack scene. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I would need a moment.
I used to love her as Gertie. I loved her after that.
Ew.
I was roughly the same age, so it was okay then.
Ew.
It might seem dirty. It's not like I watch E.T. now and say, God, that's hot.
Have you ever seen Doppelganger?
Yes. Yeah.
God, she was so hot in that
She was hot. And Poison Ivy.
True. Yeah, we should move on now.
Another comedy besides Modern Family that's coming out that I might actually watch. There's two of them. Up All Night with Will Arnett, Christina Applegate, and Maya Rudolph. I'd watch that. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of sitcoms, but
when we took our break, I was watching about 5 minutes of that, and that's the last 5 minutes I'll ever watch.
So that show's not very good. That's what you're saying.
No, not to me.
The other one is Zoe Deschanel's new show called New Girl, which I like Zoe, so I would give her a shot.
I watched the pilot episode on iTunes. It was good. I enjoyed it. She's so cute.
I love her. I will give her a try in anything, if you know what I mean. So I'm looking for that. I really don't like sitcoms. Modern Family is a rare exception because
I don't watch Modern Family. I've heard nothing but good things. But
that is by far the best comedy on TV.
Yes, it's fucking hysterical.
It's not even close.
And it doesn't kowtow to the audience. You know, it doesn't talk down to you. It actually pretends like you have an intelligence.
Now, people have compared it to Arrested Development. Is that a fair comparison?
Yes, it's just as clever.
Because I loved Arrested Development. It is one of my favorite comedy shows of all time.
I think they do a very good job of keeping it real, like realistic, and also making the comedy very clever. It's not just stupid comedy, where most sitcoms are just like, oh, look, he fell down again. It's not that kind of humor. They make fun of a lot of stereotypes, and they actually take a lot of chances, because some of the shit is very racial, and they somehow pull it off.
But they can, in that Sofia Vergara.
Vergara.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I follow her on Twitter just because randomly she'll post pictures of her just standing there, and it's just like, God bless you. God bless you.
I love you.
I love you. I will retweet that to everyone. Okay. That is our TV wrap-up. Anything else you guys want to follow up with? Anything that you wish you could have mentioned but you didn't have time? Real quick, that you're looking forward to that maybe didn't quite make your top three?
The Mentalist. I love that show.
Really?
I don't know when it comes out, but it may not come out for a couple months or so, but I love that one.
I'll give a shout-out real quick to Chuck.
Ooh, I can't believe that one got picked up.
I've enjoyed Chuck. Unfortunately, it's funny. I've been watching it from the beginning.
Can you just make that statement again?
What?
I've enjoyed Chuck. Go ahead.
I liked the show from the beginning. I consistently liked it. I finally got my wife after 3 seasons to start watching the show. And so she watched first 3 seasons on DVD because I have them on Blu-ray. And when season 4 started, we both started watching season 4 as it aired. And for whatever reason, it just was not clicking with her. I don't know if it was going from mainlining episodes to suddenly waiting a week or 2 between them that threw her, but it did. She stopped watching it. I liked Chuck. I still like Chuck. I think it was not as strong this season as past ones, but it was still really good. And the finale, I don't know if it was the same sort of blowing shit out of the water as you guys are talking about with Hawaii Five-0, but the finale changed every dynamic of Chuck. I'm intensely curious where they're going to be taking the show next.
I actually want to get into. I like the first season. I just stopped watching after that. So.
It's really good. It's one of those shows that it shocked me how willing it was to constantly change what the show was about. Because most TV shows, from season 1 to season 5, the amount of change that the characters go through really isn't that huge. There's not a lot of risks being taken. They're constantly, every season, they were changing the dynamic of the show and what these characters could do and were doing. And I always appreciated the fact that maybe they always kind of figured, well, we might be canceled next week, so fuck it, let's go for the gold. And they kept doing that every season. And I think it's kept it fresh and kept it strong.
Good deal.
I love it. And Zachary Levi is hysterically funny in that show. He's a really a delight to watch. And just a little side note on him, I just watched Tangled on Netflix Instant Streaming. I went into it expecting to hate it. Came out absolutely loving that movie.
I actually want to see that one.
It's so good.
The cartoon. Well, that is our TV wrap up. I hope anybody that's turning into the episode and never listened to Hollywood Outsider episode before realizes that that's kind of a different format for us. So we tried to do the best we could. I hope everybody found at least one show that you could like. If you watch TV Guide and Entertainment Weekly and shit, it's all going to be popular bullshit. This was mostly genre from what you heard. I hope there's something in there you liked. So let us know.
But when my books come out, fuck these shows. Read my stuff.
Exactly. You can pimp that shit like crazy when it comes out.
Gotcha.
We're going to move on to DVDs real quick before we wrap up, and then we're going to have some flashbacks. Justin and Brian are going to take their stab at that. Coming out on DVD and Blu-ray on September 20th is Bridesmaids. Is finally coming out. That's an excellent movie. And the newest seasons of Castle, Hawaii Five-0, Modern Family, Mentalist, and the movie called The Setup, which I don't really know. But
why do these networks wait until fucking a week before the next season to put these things out?
They think people are just going to sit there and watch the entire season right before the show starts, apparently.
Put them out in June. Put them out in July. Yeah, exactly. Give me some fucking time.
Yep.
I mean, hell, I just bought all the first half season of Doctor Who. I'm booked.
I'm booked.
Yeah, bring it out. Midway, at the midway point. That way, it gives me a little crutch to get over.
Yeah.
The hump. And that by the time I've taken a month or so to get through it, then it's not long before the next season kicks off.
Well, I think they do it because then they can dual advertise. Like, it doesn't cost them as much to advertise it. Because they can advertise the show and say, and also season 1 is on DVD. That whole thing.
But hell, season 6 of Supernatural just came out this week, and I picked that up, and God knows when I'll have time to rewatch that before unfortunately, I won't get to be able to watch it before the next season starts. Bam, I mentioned it again.
Yes. Wow.
Shit, I should get money.
What is
CW? Where my money at?
What is you guys' pick of the week? Mine's Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, definitely. Didn't see it in theaters. I cannot wait to pick it up on DVD.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so that's probably going to be my pick also.
But I will recommend Castle and Hawaii Five-0 and Modern Family all. So, not The Mentalist because I prefer Psych, which is really the good version of The Mentalist. Which you should watch, Brian, because they actually do a lot of Mentalist jokes because that came out after them, and it's pretty much the same concept. It's just they go strictly for comedy. Some of them are actually pretty clever.
And if you liked Castle, if you liked Firefly, watch Castle. They do reference Firefly on occasion.
They do. And the Halloween episode where he dressed as Captain Mal was priceless.
Yes. Space cows in space? What?
Now, we're going to move on to flashbacks. Now, if you've ever listened to our podcast before, we like to give you a couple movies to leave with so that you can go find them and watch them and hopefully enjoy them. Well, this week we're going to keep it a little short. We're just going to have 2 flashbacks. One is going to be a date/couple flashback, so you and your lady friend can sit down on the couch and watch something juicy, hopefully that you've never heard of before. And then one is a regular movie, which is we try to come up with something either obscure or unpopular that maybe you've never heard of, or to give you something to look forward to. So, Justin, why don't you take it away with what is your date flashback? You got 90 seconds to sell your movie.
All right, well, it was hard coming up with one for this because I've talked about a lot of kind of date movies that I really enjoyed, whether it's Joe versus Volcano, or I could obviously go with When Harry Met Sally because that is my all-time favorites, romantic comedy of all time. I've mentioned a lot of them, but one that I haven't mentioned, and I never hear talked about all that often, and maybe it's because people are sick to death of Michael Cera, but back in 2008, he came out with a movie called Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I had no expectation going into watching this film other than knowing that I kind of liked Michael Cera and some of the things he'd done. And Kat Dennings, who's the female lead in this movie, is incredibly good looking. So I went into it just expecting nothing and came out really enjoying this film. It's a very light movie. It's not a heavy movie where the whole time there's this intense sexual tension going on between the characters and are they going to do it? Are they not? It's a much lighter affair. And basically the movie is about Michael Cera, who plays in a band, and Kat Dennings, who has got this drunk friend, and they're all out in New York City one night. Michael Cera is playing with his band. Kat Dennings is taking her friend around getting drunk. They end up meeting up early on in the film, and then Michael Cera and Kat Dennings have to try and find where her friend, her drunk-ass friend, has gone off to. It's light, it's entertaining, it's a refreshing romantic comedy in that it's romantic and sweet. It's not cloying in any way. There's music constantly throughout it. I mean, it is called their Infinite Playlist, but it's not, to bag on them once again, it is not a fucking CW type show where it's just this boring ass fucking teeny rock that you never know who these bands are. It's really good, and I enjoyed it, and I never hear anybody talk about it, and I have to blame that maybe on Michael Cera hate. But it's fun. It's nice. It's you sit back with your lady and you watch it, and you're just going to have a good time. It's not a deep film. It's just really enjoyable one.
I really like that movie. It's a good movie. It's cute.
It is not on It's not on Netflix download, though, unfortunately.
That's too bad. It was at one time because I watched it on there. I watched it on there, so it must be one of those.
I hate when movies come and go on that list. It pisses me off.
Well, that's a good selection. Brian, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, take it away.
All right. My pick is Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. It's got Andy Garcia. Basically, what would you do if your business that you own was failing? The loans you took out on it from a kind of a shady loan shark are overdue, and your former boss, which is a crime lord you used to work for, bought out your debts to get you to do a job for him. You pretty much would do it. And Andy Garcia plays Jimmy the Saint, and he gathers up his old crew, which is played by it's a handful of guys. Some of them, you recognize, like Treat Williams, Christopher Lloyd, as the doctor from Back to the Future, and William Forsythe, and a few others. And so they all go do this job. Of course, if everything goes well, Jimmy the Saint, that's Andy Garcia, they clear his debts. Well, as it usually does in the movies, things don't go that smooth, and the job gets botched. So Christopher Walken is the crime lord. His name is
Han Solo.
In the movie, yeah, exactly, Han Solo. Almost, but not quite. But anyway, he's the man with a plan, and he grants Jimmy the Saint clemency, but for the most part, he says, the rest of your crew has been sentenced to buckwheats. And buckwheats is kind of a nasty way of being shot. And you'll just have to watch the movie for the actual kind of definition on that. So, but basically the crew, his crew says, okay, we get it. They accept the sentence, so to speak, and they all kind of deal with it in their own ways. And but what's cool about it is, the language in this movie, the slang they use is really good. It's almost like it's its own character. There's also a lot of small parts played by, some up and coming actors like Jenny McCarthy and Don Cheadle. Gabrielle Anwar is in it. Who
Burn Notice.
Burn Notice, right? Jack Warden from he's been around for 100 years. He's in it. But it's kind of similar to True Romance, Pulp Fiction a little bit, and kind of Suicide Kings.
Really?
I love Suicide Kings. That's a really good movie.
I like True Romance a lot.
Well, then, and they're, oddly enough, they've all got Christopher Walken in it, so maybe that's
true.
That's the
his scene in True Romance is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Him and
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I prefer the Pulp Fiction one. So I had to watch in my ass for 2 weeks.
There's a crump Wonka medal up my ass.
And now I'm giving it to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Turned into dice.
I know. I lost it. I'm sorry. I lost it. Sorry, Brian.
But again, it's called Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. It came out in 1995. You can find it on Netflix. it is. You can stream it on Netflix, and I believe it's you can get the DVD. You can order the DVD also. But,
very cool.
So check it out.
That is very cool. That is primarily our show. Remember, if you have any thoughts or concerns, or you just want to bash Brian and Justin, you can email us. See,
well, me.
He was talking to all of you. He said, "Fuck off." You can send us an email at HollywoodOutsider@comcast.net or feedback at thehollywoodoutsider.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thehollywoodoutsider and Twitter _outsider. All those things you can find us on. So you can send us shit. Get on that. In passing, I hope somebody found a show on this fucking thing. Is there anything you guys want to say in ending or anything? Really? Nothing? You're just going to sit there with dead air? Just going to let it die?
Go eat popcorn.
What?
Go eat popcorn.
I'm not there yet. We're not done.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I went too soon.
Oh, you stole his line, man.
Son of a bitch.
God, I had to edit that shit out.
All right, go watch Lost. Go watch a good show.
Go watch Lost. Yeah, watch everything but the last episode, and you should be fine.
Let me kick your ass.
That's it. We will be returning next week with Strictly Movies. We'll be Strictly Movies again. Okay, from the Hollywood Outsider, this is Aaron Peterson saying, go buy popcorn.
To visit, I just wanna go home. You're unable to understand that I'm doing the best I can, and all I know is all I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home.
That's what I found.
And Ryan Reynolds is in it. Yes.
God, because when I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it was like 2008 and shit. And I'm like, what fucking... Are we doing a retro?
We're doing a retro
pretend
podcast.
This is 3 years ago?
Do I sound like a Jew? What exactly does a Jew sound like?
Well, I sound like I would have a big nose and a bagel in my hand. No, I do not.
Wow.
Oh, shit, he probably just uses a knife to sharpen it. It's like whittling on the porch.
He does it old school style. That's how we do it in the woods if we weren't busy, turning girls away.
When he does our writings and arithmetics.
Oh, hang on. Let me make room. My spit cup's in the way.
We don't have Scott here fucking everything up, though, so that's good.
For me letting you go, no time to visit, I just wanna go home. You're never to understand that I'm doing the best I can, and all I know is all